It's the 26th of September 2020. The Addis Tigers enter the diamond for the last game of their best-of-5 series against the Philadelphia Pies. They're tied 2-2. This is for all the marbles. The winner will advance to grand finals of the Inter-League Blaseball and face the dominant Baltimore Crabs. Both teams have already won 2 leagues. The third win, according to the forbidden book of Blaseball, would make either team and Blaseball itself ascend. Neither team knows what that means, but they want it. The Pies' Eduardo Woodman goes up to bat, facing pitcher Durap Figueroa of the Addis Tigers. Eduardo is the thin man from the Wizard of Oz, except he keeps getting confused with actor Ed Wood and moonlights as a sitcom director and B-movie star. He hits a ground out to Carmelo Plums, who's a 7-foot-tall human pestry. Beasley Day, a lovable anthropomorphic Cerberus dachshund, goes up to bat, gets a strike and a ball, then it's a ground out to Ren Morin, a literal tiger playing for the Addis Tigers. Next up in the rotation is Jessica Telephone. She's the Michael Jordan or Babe Ruth of the ILB, except about 1,000 times more queer and her son, a synchronous quantum waveform in the 80s decade of every century of human history and possibly beyond. She's also encased in a giant peanut shell because the entire fanbase couldn't stop simping for her for 2 weeks straight. And the Peanut God which, among others, rules the Blaseball universe, decided to punish us for idolizing her instead of the almighty legume. Well, more specifically for not idolizing 3 players whose names got changed to peanut-related puns and which it regards as its progeny. So Jessica Telephone gets skipped from the rotation. Street and performance artist Farrell Seagull goes up to bat, then it's a fly out to Peanutiel Duffy. They were once Daniel Duffy, but the Peanut God turned them into an eldritch peanut monstrosity that looks a bit like a biblically accurate angel. Duffy is one of the best hitters in the Addis Tigers and the fans love them. That's just one inning of a single game of baseball. There's 9 innings every game and extra ones if the score is tied until either team gets ahead. There's 100 baseball days every regular human week and 10 games every regular human hour, for a total of 240 games per regular human day and 1000 per regular human work week. Then there is playoffs on Saturday. Baseball tells you what happens during each game to an extremely simple interface. The teams, inning count, game count in the series and current score on the left. A minimalistic representation of the field, of how many balls, strikes or outs have been recorded, and of who the current batter and pitcher are in the center. A log which updates every few seconds and shows the latest thing that happened in the game on the right. That's it. No footer graphics, no sound effects, no nothing. Everything else takes place in your head, which means everything can happen and you are free to come up with everything you want about the game itself. Stories will dynamically arise from the simulation as you watch, and you can make them part of the game. Baseball's exact nature is left intentionally cryptic and ambiguous as to be able to incorporate as much of this kind of fun input as possible. This minimalistic setup allows the developers to constantly provide something new for the players, by altering the game state on the fly. The actual engine behind it is usually comparatively easier to work with, it's just what's pulling the strings. So Blaseball is a perfect storm. The fans organically come up with interesting ideas and concepts, the game is lean enough to incorporate them, and the developers competent enough to do so in an interesting way. That prompts more batsing from the fans and the cycle starts again. This collaborative dynamic between fanbase and developers, between the art and those who experience it, is utterly unique in all of gaming and makes Blaseball one of the most interesting things I've ever had the pleasure of participating in. The actual game is the least important part of Blaseball, its spirit can only be found in everything surrounding it. It's not about the sports simulation, it's about what stories the sports simulation tells, which is of course what everyone likes about actual real sports. Blaseball reduces the mechanical side of sports to a minimum and amplifies the mythical storytelling aspect of it. It's epic poetry for the digital age told to sports simulation, and I can't wait to see what other stories we weave together.